Whoa, my dudes. It's like totally time for journal time. This is Surfer Mr. A here, ready to bring in some rad journal stuff. Alright, here's what you're gonna need. Can you grab some red, a yellow, a blue, and a black coloring supply, a pencil, your scissors, totally gnarly, and a glue stick. Go ahead and make sure that you've got all those supplies, man. All right, well, Surfer Mr. A decided to go hit the waves rather than hit the journal, so regular Mr. A is back and in action, ready to do some awesome journal time. All right, can you please turn to your table of contents? We need to go ahead, if you haven't already, and add in page 8, Geographic Tools Guided Notes. So please take the time, if you haven't already, to write that in. Awesome. Then, if you still need the papers, you're going to head over to those Journal Time paper mailboxes, and I need you to find the 2 papers in between those pink Post-it notes. They look a little like this. We've got important latitude lines and climate regions, and we've got a little geography study guide. So if we don't have those paper yet, let's hop to it and get them. Perfect. Now, we are going to be on our 9th and 10th page. So the last thing that we did was an awesome chart here talking about climate zones. We did some guided notes on page 8. And then now we are going to be on page 9 and 10. So if you haven't already, go ahead and take your black coloring supply or your pencil and put in a 9 at the top left of your 9th page and a 10 right beside it, making sure that we have 2 blank pages, 9 and 10. Awesome. Now what we're going to do is just go ahead and trim off the white space on both of these pages. We're just going to cut right around the border on this one, and we're just going to kind of trim off a little bit of white space around here. Please be careful to not cut off any words. You guys are absolutely crushing it. All right, now we're going to go ahead and take the one that says important latitude lines and climate regions, and we're going to glue that on the top of page 9. And then we're going to take our geographic study guide and glue it on page 10. So go ahead and add some glue to the back and stick those bad boys. Whoop, whoop. You guys are doing so good. All right, so let's take a look here at this globe, right? And if we read this top section, let's just refresh ourselves on what the difference is between climate and weather. So it says climate is the term for weather and patterns that an area typically experiences over a long period of time. So I'm going to go ahead and take my pencil and underline that long period of time, reminding myself that climate is over many, many years. Whereas weather is more of that day-to-day temperature and precipitation. So like, what's the weather today? 87 and dry, or 23 and snowing. And we're going to be able to determine climate based upon what zone and region they are in, like we've already talked about. So there's a couple of key terms that we need to look at down here for our main important step 1. So it says label each important latitude line on the diagram of the Earth above. So if we take a look at the Earth here, hopefully we remember what this center line is, right? Where the most important warm weather is located. It's called, you got it. So this one is the equator. So let's write that with our pencil over on the side there and give ourselves a check down at the bottom to remember that we've got equator done. All right, I think another easy ones to remember are 2 poles, right? So knowing that the North Pole is all the way towards the top and our South Pole is all the way towards the bottom. So we've got these different lines here that we're gonna go ahead and write. And so we're just gonna put a little kind of like tick mark at the top here, and we're gonna write North Pole all the way at the top. You know, where Santa Claus makes all of your awesome toys. And down here is the South Pole, where nobody lives because it is just too darn cold. All right, so we've got North Pole, we've got South Pole. Let's go ahead and check these ones off. So we've got those ones done. All right, so that's like super, super hot weather, super, super cold weather. Sun's rays directly on the Earth, sun's rays very indirectly on the Earth, right? Absolutely no sun in this spot. Lots of sun all the time right here. So then we've got the 2 Arctic circles. Well, the easy way to remember the Arctic Circle versus the Antarctic Circle is Arctic Circle is up by the ocean called Arctic Ocean, and the Antarctic Circle is down by the continent. That sounds like it. That's Antarctica. So this line up here, we're going to go ahead and write Arctic Circle. And then this line down here is our Antarctic Circle. And let's go ahead and check those ones off. So this is kind of that like pretty cold, right? This is, as it says down here, 66 degrees south of the equator, and this would be 66 degrees north of the equator. So it helps me to remember them by thinking what they're around. This one's by the Arctic Ocean, this one's by the Antarctic Ocean, okay? Perfect. The last pieces that we have here are the two different tropics. These kind of set our tropical zone up. So Tropic of Cancer, Tropic of Capricorn. Well, Tropic of Cancer is 23.5 degrees north, and I usually remember Cancer because it's not only shorter, but if we spell it, N comes before P, right? So C-A-N, C-A-P. So I know that the Tropic of Cancer is north of the equator, and I know the Tropic of Capricorn is south. And I'm going to check those ones off as well. So make sure that you've got those ones written down just like that. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to take our red, our blue, and our yellow, and we're going to color in the tropical zone red, reminding ourselves that it's very hot and dry all the time, sometimes rainy, but no extreme cold weathers, always, always warm. And then I want to use our blue to color in our polar zones all the way at the top here and our polar zone all the way at the bottom here, representing that temperatures are always extremely cold, rarely, hardly ever even warm, right? And then we're going to use our yellow to color in our temperate zone, which is where we live in up here, and the temperate zone down in here to look like